Time and again, Filipino athletes continue to prove they can compete on the international stage. But what's with the uproar from different parties when locals jump overseas to play commercially? This is Chip from Game High, and don't forget to like this video and click subscribe for more content on sports and video gaming. From the time Thirdy Ravena took his talents to Japan, a handful of Filipino players were reportedly eyed to play there as well. The most controversial is his brother, Kiefer, who was recently barred by the PBA to follow Thirdy owing to his still existing contract with his mother team, the NLEX Road Warriors. Among the players mentioned are former UP Maroons Juan Gomez de Liaño and Kobe Paras, UE Red Warrior Ray Suerte, San Sebastian Stag Alin Bulanadi, and some members of the current Gilas cadet pool. You are dead wrong though if you think offers are only for amateur standouts, as former Adamson hotshot and veteran PBA journeyman Patrick Cabahug confirmed that he received an offer to play in Japan. There were persistent but unconfirmed rumors that the standoff between Ray Parks and Mikey Williams on one hand and TNT Tropang Giga on the other is due to the offer from the same Hoops League in Japan lurking in the shadows. Williams, though, was recently signed. But why does it seem our players all of a sudden in a rush to head north and take their talents to the land of the rising sun? Why do Japanese teams seem to be too eager to lure them and hire the services of our hoopsters? What opportunities await there for our basketball players? The sudden interest in hiring the services of Filipino players is due to the changes in the rules of hiring imports implemented by the Japan B.League last year. The league allowed the teams to hire an Asian or a naturalized Japanese player aside from having 3 imports. This is said to be part of the campaign of Japan to make its presence felt in the regional basketball scene, in preparation for the upcoming 2023 FIBA World Cup, which will be held coincidentally in the Philippines. You may wonder, why us? Why the interest in our players instead of other Asian countries? Well, maybe they have hired some, but it is no secret that China and South Korea have thriving basketball leagues of their own, and players may not be available to play as an import. In our case, the PBA has yet to start, and we know that amateur leagues and collegiate basketball are suspended until we don't know when. And so, there are players who we can say are ripe for the picking. They are those who are old enough to play professional basketball, but still barred from playing professionally due to obsolete eligibility rules of the PBA. With Japanese teams suddenly looking for reinforcements from their fellow Asians, they looked our way and found us. But why is playing in Japan suddenly an alluring option for some, if not most of our players, that even those with existing contracts will take a risk and give it a try? We can speculate about other reasons, but there are which are as clear as day and which makes the case for turning Japanese a no-brainer for some. These are: number 1, Paycheck. As the famed boxing promoter Bob Arum used to say, it's all about the dineros, baby. No one still knows how much Thirdy is currently earning, but the figures are said to be eye-popping to say the least. Kinito Henson claimed in his article that an import in the Japanese league could easily command $100,000 to $400,000 a year. A report by the Manila Times pegged the average salary of a Japanese player at $147,000 a year. Whether we use those figures by the Venerable Dean or that of a more than a century-old newspaper, the amount is certainly no peanuts. A Filipino player in the Japan B.League will certainly get more than what most max players of the PBA are currently earning. No wonder it has attracted a lot of attention from everyone, not the least of course, the players who are being eyed. Cabahug, for instance, could not hide his excitement, judging from his interview with a local paper, Sunstar. Reading it, you can imagine he was all smiles. After bouncing off from different leagues, a big paycheck is suddenly a possibility. And potentially, that is what is waiting for others who have received feelers and offers from Japan. It is no wonder that the PBA feels antsy, irritated, and insecure these days. Number 2, exposure. Cabahug, though, may prove to be the exception. For others, especially youngsters who are dreaming big or eager to prove something, playing in Japan may be another route to superstardom. Though basketball is not as popular as baseball, the former does have a loyal fan base there. The warm reception received by Thirdy indicates that there is more to playing than just a lucrative paycheck. The possibility of making a name for yourself outside the shadows of more popular basketball players here in the Philippines might be a tempting possibility for many. Bulanadi and company may be good, even great, and Kobe Paras is a superstar even before he played professionally in the country, but all will have to earn their stripes in the PBA. In Japan, they will quickly get what they wanted, a baptism of fire, and perhaps the proverbial fame and fortune. Number 3. Experience. The Japan B.League has a calendar of 60 games outside the playoffs, so players will have ample time to prove themselves and crack the rotation. Not only that, but they will have the opportunity to play, train, and practice not only with Japanese teammates and opponents, but fellow imports who come from all parts of the globe and have different tricks up their sleeves. In terms of experience, it will be a great windfall for our players. Monetary considerations aside, players who want to prove on themselves who will always take the opportunity to play against the best. Given the circumstances, especially for others who may not even crack the regular rotation, even though they are of great talent, just practicing against international players will give them an advantage over the others. It will show them an entirely new dimension of the game from which they will learn. Playing overseas is a tempting option. Sooner or later, our players will come back and maybe play locally. If there is anything, we must feel happy for them. Let us hope that if they ever make it to Japan or other international leagues, that they become successful. Their success will be our country's success as well, as Philippine basketball will benefit from whatever experience they will gain from playing internationally. That's about it. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our Game High YouTube channel and share your thoughts below in the comment section. We also have our Facebook and Instagram pages, and do check us out on Spotify for our podcast on sports, video games, and everything in between. Until then, guys, cheers!